Welcome back to the Dual Factor, and also a really huge welcome to our new viewers, everyone that's following us not only on Choice TV but Caravision. Of course, we are visiting your homes in the Caribbean, 25 Caribbean islands, plus New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Ontario, Quebec. We're here with you now, and we're bringing you some of the issues and some of the things that are happening in the Caribbean. And I'm so delighted to have with me Selwina Charles, who's very well known in St. Lucia for her music, for her singing, for being a woman of strength and character. So we're now going to talk about her career, how she stumbled across that, and how she balances being a career person and a creative one. So how did that happen, your entry into education?
Well, I attended the Castries Secondary. First of all, I entered the Soufrière Secondary School after passing the common entrance. And my mom it was very, very rough by the time I got to this age, financially, because she had me and a whole lot of us to take care of. And at the Soufrière Junior Secondary School, I remember very distinctly that I was interested in the arts, drama, music. I had a teacher called Alan MacLeod. He was, what was he? Scottish.
Okay.
He was Scottish, and he was one of, he was one of the Peace Corps at the Soufrière Junior Secondary School. And he was the drama instructor, and I was very, very interested in music drama, because by then I knew that I wanted to sing. And I went to school, but I was not a regular person at school at all. This is the amazing thing. I remember Mama taking me out of school because my first sister, the first was dead. The second, my grandmother took her. She said, this one is hers. The third died. The fourth died. And I'm the fifth. So all the others after me, I was more like a mother rather than a sister, because Mama used to handle part-time jobs, sewing for a guy called Harry George in Soufrière, making pajamas. People would come with their wedding gowns. They wanted wedding gowns and dresses. And she would also work bagging at JJB, Johnson Jean-Baptiste in Soufrière. And she would leave me in charge of the home. So I learned how to wash, to cook, to do all the things a mother would have done regularly at a very tender age. Of course, Mama drilled it into me. I remember one day she gave me, my father worked at a copper factory, and she gave me like 6 dungarees. You remember the brand of jeans called dungarees, and these were the solid type of jeans. Now when this gets kicked with the cooking oil, it creates a kind of muddy residue, very intense and thick on the you have to take this, and some people washed and they boiled it. The hot water would dissolve the fat, but not me. Mama had me washing these by hand.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember washing 5, and I rubbed it, and my wrists, after so much intense rubbing, my wrist couldn't take anymore. So I decided to soak the last one, let it rest in the soapy water so that the soap would do the damage. And my mom said, nobody is leaving any piece of stuff behind when you're washing. She took the wet pants and she gave me a beating of my life. There was this lady, Mrs. February, we could affectionately known as Mamod. She took me to her home and she said, no, she said to my mother, no, that's torture. At the time, I thought that my mom was being harsh, but growing up now, I see the necessity for washing everything that you have wet. Unlike there are some people who wash half, and they leave half soaking, and then it's a fiasco out there. So it kind of built me gradually.
That's a form of tough love.
That's tough love.
But you saying that, I'm sure you wouldn't do that if one of your children behaved that way.
No, I wouldn't. I would go in a different way to tell them about it. I would do it in a different manner. For example, I would explain to them why it needs to be done, and I would definitely give them an easier solution to getting the things done. But at that time, there was nothing easier about the way we were brought up. You had to take it the tough way.
But why do you think it was like that in those days? That our families, you know, because I remember my grandmother, you know, being like that, you know, in her own way with her children, not with me, but I remember my uncles and my aunts telling me things that my grandmother used to do with them, and I'm thinking, that's really tough. Why?
Well, these people, don't forget, they grew closer to the age of slavery, and all this came about as, you know, punishment for the slaves. So this is all they knew, transcended down to their children, and gradually it became lesser. But then there were punishments. I didn't suffer that, but I was told of punishments where people were put to kneel on a grater with 2 heavy stones in their hands, suspended in the air, until they bled for doing practically nothing. My mom would give me the dishes to wash, and she would say to me, I want to see my reflection in this pun's bottom.
Boy.
And there I had to take the steel wool. At this time, steel wool was a commodity. It was a luxury. So you had to take the coconut husk, the straw, put the ashes from the coal pot, the coals, put it on the straw and put the palm of your hand on that and rub it as vigorously as you can till it's shone. The technique was, there was a soap called the sunflower soap, yellow soap. I used that a lot, and then I put the pan in the sun to bleach. The sun did the rest.
You can say that now, you wouldn't dare it before.
No, and well, she made sure that I was able to do everything. She taught me, our house was, the carpets were always in the shape, the patterns were always like tiles. She believed in tiles at her home, so part of the house was tiled up. She taught me to sweep a row of tiles at a time, so you cannot miss the tiles at all. I taught my children in turn the very same way. I taught them to wash, where you have to pre-soak the clothes, get rid of all the first dirty water, how they call it, then put your detergent again, wash. Put them to bleach in the sun, not chemical, you know, and keep sprinkling. When it was white enough, rinse, open to dry. So I grew up knowing that food, for us, there was no macaroni and cheese and rice and all the foods children consider to be the good foods, like on a daily basis. You got that on a special occasion. Macaroni and cheese would come maybe Easter, Christmas, not every day like now. But I started telling you at the very first, in the very first segment, I lived next to the Dubule plantation. It was just free land owned by the Dubules. There was so much at the time. Right where the current Sufra Primary School stands, that whole area, the factory was the only building around, and that whole area was lime.
I'm going to stop you
bananas.
I was all night, all day. So stay with us. We'll be right back.